Coming up, one of our listeners unboxes the Orbit player and Speak-A-Boo becomes a Speak-A-Poo.
You're listening to Double Tap, your daily accessible technology show. Now, here's your hosts, Stephen Scott and Shaun Priest.
Hey guys, welcome along to another episode of Double Tap. Yeah, I'd love to take credit for that one, Shaun Priest, but I have to give that all to you. Well done for bringing a unique perspective on life to the introduction to Double Tap.
Yeah, renaming Speak-A-Boo to Speak-A-Poo.
It was great.
I thought so. I feel I was going to take the rest of the day off, to be honest. I'm spent right now.
That's it. That's all you had to do. That's literally it. You have done all you need. How are you doing, my friend? Are you feeling good today? Feeling good? Feeling up for it? Feeling happy?
All right, calm down before you run out of breath. I am feeling good today, Stephen Scott. I'm feeling better. I'm back at 100%. I'm good, thank you.
And if we're lucky, this episode might even make it on YouTube today.
Oh, yes. Let me just say, I did sign in to a social media platform after many years away. I signed in again, and my first post was, Stephen's fault, just saying.
Yeah. And tell our listeners. Tell our listeners whose fault it may well have been that the episode never made it to YouTube yesterday. It did arrive on AMI audio. It did arrive on podcast.
Yes.
So that was good. But to our friends, and Trevor got in touch to say, I really missed you guys yesterday.
Thank you, Trevor.
Whose fault was it, Shaun Priest?
Yours, I believe. As I said on Mona, I believe it's your fault.
Do you stand by that post, do you?
We just don't know. There's no way to tell at this time where the technical issue... my video...
I can tell.
Where was it?
I can tell because it was your video that was completely knackered yesterday.
I was just frozen, apparently. No one would have noticed. It would have been fine. I say we could have put it out.
Yeah, well, I will say I could hear you fine, but we couldn't see you. And apparently that matters to sighted people.
Okay. Yes, apologies. It was some sort of... There was a gremlin. Who knows who's to blame? It doesn't even matter.
Exactly. It doesn't. Exactly. There's no point even discussing it anymore, quite frankly.
Stephen's fault.
That's right, yeah. But just as easier to blame me, fine. But yeah, hopefully this one will make it to YouTube today. So apologies if you missed us on that platform yesterday. But here we are again. Hello. And, I saw this story and it kind of annoys me because, I'm not the biggest fan of children. I just find them very irritating and annoying generally.
That's a terrible thing to say,
It's
Stephen
not a terrible
Scott.
thing to say. Have you ever been on a plane or a train and a child is behind you, kicking your seat, screaming, yelling?
No. I've been sat next to you for 12 hours talking away non-stop.
But at least it's sort of legible. Sort of.
Well, yeah, okay.
Maybe not after 12 hours, I will admit.
What about horrible children, Stephen Scott?
Well, they've got a new thing. And why is it children always get the best things?
Okay.
Like toys, they're always the best. I mean, kids always get the best things. Well, the latest is Skechers shoes, which, by the way, I am a fan.
Oh, I'm a huge fan.
Shoes.
As a man of a certain age, I've got to say, the slip-on Skechers, what a joy.
Honestly, the best thing in the world. They call it technology. I think it just is basically that they've firmed up the back of the shoe.
Yes.
So that you can just slide your foot in without crumpling the shoe. Yeah, exactly. Because I used to get told off as a kid for putting my shoes on that way. No, you got to untie your shoes first. You got to put them on properly.
That. It's too far away. Who's reaching all the way down to your feet?
Well,
forget that.
Age. No, exactly. Feet, where are they? Yeah. So, I absolutely agree. I think that the Skechers, what do they call them? Walk-ins or slip-ins? Slip-ins, that's what they call them.
I don't know.
I mean, I guess you do walk in them as well. But yeah, well, the very good shoes. And the kids' versions of whatever shoes that kids wear by Skechers has a new feature, a new technology feature.
Feature. Oh, very good.
Yeah, basically, they've cut a hole in the sole of the shoe so you can put an AirTag in it, a little hidden compartment underneath the inside insole bit.
Yeah.
I don't want to use too many technical terms here because I don't want to confuse people.
Okay, I think that's a genius idea. I can already see red flags being raised.
Okay.
Why? Is that legal everywhere? Can you track someone?
Well, yeah, maybe this is why it's only in kids' shoes. Rather than being in, adults' shoes. Although personally, this is my thing. I would actually quite welcome this. Because how many times, look, I have two problems. One, I'm blind, and, losing shoes around the house. I know I keep bringing it up, but there you go. But wouldn't it be cool, though, if you could have them in your shoes and you could then pair them up on your smartphone, you could, have your shoes and then a different pair of shoes.
Find
you could
my
identify
shoes.
them. You could identify your shoes by AirTag.
You could.
I think I'll wear the grey ones today. And just like, where's the grey shoes? Beep 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 beep. Oh, there they are.
Hang on.
That'd be great.
You would need a separate AirTag for each shoe. So that's 2 AirTags
Details.
per. And how much is an AirTag?
That's nothing. That's like
£30.
Yeah,
that's about what, $40, $50?
Yeah, it's pennies.
Okay, yeah. No, actually, it does seem like a really good idea. I would like that. The amount of time I've lost a shoe somewhere, it'd be great. So, yeah, I like that idea. And the reason I bring up the legislation around this, because it is difficult, and I don't think it actually is has any effect on children. I think you can track your children however you like, but
I think
for
it's
adults,
advised, isn't it? I mean, it's almost advised when it comes to children, not so much with adults.
Yeah, exactly. But with adults, but I mean, there is a use case for that with people suffering from, Alzheimer's or dementia or something like that for wandering off. I know lots of people who would love some way to, find them basically.
But you were telling me earlier there was a friend of yours who actually got told off for doing this.
Yeah, that's right. There are legal problems with tracking someone. I suppose it's without consent, right? I mean, there are apps out there. You can scan yourself to see if you are being tracked for very good reasons, by the way.
Of course,
coercive control and abusive partners tracking where their partners are going. Absolutely, you want to know if there's an AirTag that you didn't know about. But likewise, people need to give their consent in order to be tracked. But I don't know how that works with someone with cognitive issues.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think it's an interesting idea, and I think that, this is maybe where the Find My capability is better because it's locked into your own iCloud, I guess. Find My is probably a better way to do it.
Is it? Can I just say this? Hello, Apple, if you're listening. What is wrong with Find My, right? Okay, so me and my partner, Sarah, we share our locations. So when she's off somewhere, I can see if she's coming back and get the kettle on, ready for a brew.
She's coming home. It's just left you. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's now in Australia.
I've got to have a cup of tea ready, but when she walks in the door, otherwise I'm in trouble. So I asked my HomePods, hey, where's Sarah? And it'll say, yesterday she was here. So, where is she now? It's absolutely awful. So it's okay.
Really?
I'll open the Find My app on my iPhone, right? It's real time. It'd be fine. It's not the greatest app to navigate. When it comes to accessibility, I think it leaves a lot to be desired. I just don't think it's as good as it could be. There, I've said it.
I've never used it via the HomePods. It's interesting. Again, I know that our good friend Gregg Hayes is coming up later with our Speak-A-Poo demo that I was mentioning earlier. Or Speak-A-Poo.
I worked hard on that.
We'll explain more about that in a minute because there is a reason why we keep saying this. We should maybe tell people what that is. I remember someone saying to me, when the show starts, really, can I give a menu of what's coming up on the show, Stephen? And I always forget, So, do you know what? If you like Double Tap, you know what you're getting, right? You're just getting this.
We don't know what we're doing.
It'll make sense eventually, hopefully.
Yes.
And a listener will usually be involved to make sense of it. I almost guarantee that. But Gregg Hayes is coming up later. And Gregg is always on at me saying, why do you always talk down Siri? Why do you always talk down HomePods? And the truth is, I just don't think about it as a smart speaker. I really don't. I just think, okay, it's a music player. That's all it is to me. And I know it has all these capabilities in it. So when it comes to Find My, I always use it on the phone, and I find it actually works really, really well.
Do you? Even if you ask Lady S on your phone, it still doesn't give me the real time. And I've tried all different ways of asking, where is Sarah now? What's Sarah's real-time location?
That's interesting. I never have that problem. I do it on the phone. I do. Say, where is my wife? And it'll tell me.
Perhaps
it's giving me ballpark areas, right? It's not saying she's in this particular street or this particular
No, that's fine.
location.
Yeah.
But for example, when she's at work, I know she's at work,
Yeah. It's just the time stamp for me. It's always, I want to know where she is now, not 25 minutes ago or yesterday at an extreme. But.
And you can set alerts as well.
Oh, can you? I haven't done that.
Well, you can set alerts to say, like, if someone's left the location, so when your wife leaves work.
Quick, look busy.
Yeah. Hide everything. Shut down that website that I was looking at for a birthday present for her.
Well done.
Learn how to uninstall a VPN. All that stuff. Never happened.
Oh, dear.
But, you can set alerts. You can say when, within range or, and that's really useful. That's really, really useful.
Yeah, cool.
If someone's working on a job where perhaps, they work out in the field or they work with clients, maybe going to people's homes, you kind of want to know where they are, right? Because there could be a situation that develops that you want to, at least know where that person is.
Yeah,
been
of
a
course.
few occasions in my life I've had to use this function for that reason, and it was honestly wonderful that it exists, because then you know exactly where the individual is. But you're right. I mean, look, there were certainly many issues when it came out at first. There were people walking around popping AirTags in people's handbags. You know, that was a thing. And, you know, the women were terrified because suddenly they would find, if they found it, they had no idea why it was there and who was tracking them. Yeah. That was the question. So Apple has done more to that. I must admit, I don't know enough about what they've done to improve that. I think you said there's apps now that can tell you. I think even the Apple app itself can give you indications. It will even tell you, won't it, if someone's like there's an AirTag traveling with you, I think was the phrase.
Yeah, exactly. There's an AirTag
yours.
nearby, or that's right. So it alerts you that it's there, and to be wary of it. Or
how does that work when we're all wearing them all the time?
Yeah, honestly, I don't use it enough to know. My AirTag is still in my drawer, so I haven't utilized it at all. But you know what? When it comes to keeping track of where your kids are, it's actually a really good idea.
You know the most popular YouTube video we have, and I think it was put up as a YouTube short as well on YouTube and on other platforms. The most popular thing we ever published was the fantastic feature that was created by Janine Stanley about changing an AirTag battery. One of the most popular things we ever produced.
I used it myself
it.
when I had to change mine. I looked up that exact one. Yeah, it's very good.
Well, especially from the blindness point of view, right? It's really important how we do it, and that's why that was such a popular thing for us. But I think there's probably a lot of people who were going, oh, hang on, how do you do this?
I followed it perfectly until it came to actually putting the battery itself in, one of those little watch battery things.
Yeah.
And I licked the battery, as is my want. Well, because, which is the smooth side? And one side's got all this writing on it that you can feel. With your tongue.
With your fingers.
With your tongue is far better. So I licked the battery, didn't get a shock, it was fine. And I put it in the way I thought it was meant to go in, and it was upside down. The writing was on the wrong side.
So the tongue really worked well for you in that situation?
Well, no, I blamed the battery manufacturer. They put the writing on the wrong side.
Oh.
That's probably not what happened, but anyway,
no,
Janine's instructions were
It's like
amazing.
a little flying saucer, those little batteries. So you can feel the edge. You feel the edge where it kind of, it kind of curves in at the bottom, and then you can decide which way up. Oh, you're hopeless.
Very good. Very good.
So coming up on the show today, a bit later, we're going to hear from Gregg Hayes. He has done a fantastic demo for us on the Speak-A-Poo app. Now, we spoke to the developer of this app. We're going to be getting him back on soon, actually, to tell us more about some upcoming projects. But in the meantime, we're going to hear Gregg's review of the app. And the reason we say Speak-A-Poo is because one of the many features of this app is a number of different shortcuts that you can use. And those shortcuts can help you do different things. And one is help find dog poo. Oh. Actually, this is genius.
It's something I need to do all the time, and it's a dangerous job when you can't see where you're walking or trying to pick up. And trying to get someone to help you with that is, well, firstly, it can be embarrassing. Secondly, in the case of family members, it's just really hard work. Someone just guide me, left a bit, right a bit. Yep, that's it. It's like those terrible funfair games where you try and win a teddy with the claw.
Yes.
But with terrible prizes. But it's something that needs to be done.
The worst possible prize. Oh, lovely. What a fantastic prize. Well, yes. You hear the demo. It's very good. We're going to get that on very shortly. But first, I want to turn to one of our listeners and someone who I've been following for a while over on Mastodon. And that is Liam Erven, who put together a video, actually did a live webinar on YouTube, I think it was, where he basically unboxed the Orbit Player, the new Orbit Player from Orbit Research. It's now available. And he unboxed it. So we're going to play in some of that. Thank you to Liam for allowing us to do this. Courtesy of Liam, we're able to show you this. It's just a small little snippet of the video. The whole video is about an hour and a half long.
Oh, it's in depth, very detailed.
It is in depth, and there's a ton of conversations and questions that he gets in the video. So if you are interested in it, we'll of course link it in our show notes. Go check it out and watch the full video on YouTube. I think there's an audio stream as well, but certainly the YouTube version is probably the easiest to access. We'll, as I say, post the link on our show notes. But yeah, check it out in full. But here's a little snippet of it for you to have a listen to and get a sense of the Orbit Player.
So my name is Liam. I'm kind of a fixture in the community, I guess. I've been around for a long time. I am most famous for writing computer games, but I also like to unbox things and talk about accessibility. The Orbit Player, which I'm holding the box in my hand, kind of holding it up to the camera for those that can see it. This is a small box. It is not a large box. It is definitely small. And I'm told that this player is definitely smaller than some other ones. So we're going to pop this thing out of the box, and I'm going to talk a bit about it. So let me get the lid lifted up. And out of the gate, they give us a paper set of instructions, which does not do me any good. They're a print set, not just a paper set. There's also a charging block, which I've got. We've got the player itself, and there was supposed to be Braille, like a Braille quick getting started guide. Oh, there it is. So Orbit does this. They'll send like a little paper. So I'm going to get the player out. It is wrapped in it's wrapped in this like bubble wrap stuff, and it feels nice. So it's I'm going to try to describe this to you guys. It has a keypad on the top. The keypad looks like a cross. It's got little dots on the 4 keys. The little buttons have dots. The top left is context menu. Then you've got an up arrow. Top right is record. Bottom left is the home key. Then you've got your down arrow. And of course, above that too, you've got your left, select, and right. So there are 1, 2, it's kind of hard to count the rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows, I guess. Nice little speaker grill at the bottom. I'm going to hold it up for those that can see it. Also, the left edge has an SD card slot. The top has a headphone jack. The right side has the power button and the 2 volumes. I believe the another interesting tidbit is I believe the battery is removable. So that is intriguing. I'm trying to find. So you obviously, oh, okay, it'd be on the left side. You can plug this thing in. There is a USB-C port on it. This cost $300. Some people are asking what the price was. Yeah, so I believe this was the first time boot. So yeah, some people are going, why is it taking so long to boot? I think that's just what it does.
Speech volume. Speech volume.
I'm going to turn the speech volume up. So you can toggle volumes by pressing both the volume keys at the same time. So if I press
speech volume, pitch, speech rate, main volume.
Okay. So, and I also can, if you need this louder, I can turn this up on the board as well. Maybe I'll do, here we go. We'll try that. Let's give that a shot.
User guide, 1 of 2. About Orbit Player dialog. Device name, Orbit Player. Use the up and down arrows to navigate.
Oh, I've been pushing the wrong button.
Focused item. About. 2 of help submenu. 8 of help submenu. 8 of 8. Settings submenu.
So the first thing we need to do is get this thing on Wi-Fi.
Settings. General options. 1 of 8. Speech options. 2 of 8.
Now, just so you guys can hear.
Date and time options. 3 of 8. Wi-Fi settings. 4 Bluetooth software. Install additional root
So it's
PTS.
pretty.
7 of 8.
It's pretty snappy as far as the responsiveness is concerned. All right, connecting to Bill Y, the science fee. Of course, it says Bill We, the science fee.
Successfully connected to Bill We, the science fee. Available
Perfect.
networks list. Bill We, the science fee connected. Secure network. Signal strength. Excellent. 1 of 11. No internet available on Bill We, the science fee Wi-Fi.
What? Yes, there is.
Settings.
I mean, if there wasn't,
Bluetooth
then we
settings.
wouldn't be streaming right now. So that's an interesting message.
Home.
So let's start
Submenu.
looking
7 of
at
8.
this thing.
Media book reader.
So if you know the number of an item, you can press it directly.
Home.
So here we
Voice
go.
recorder.
So we
Media
go to the
play.
top.
Book reader.
So we have
Help
book
submenu.
reader.
Book reader. 1
That
of 8.
reads books.
Media player.
Media
2
player
of
that
8.
plays media.
Internet radio.
Internet
3 of
radio. I think we know what that does.
8. Podcasts. 4 of 8.
Podcasts.
Voice recorder.
Voice
5 of 8.
recorder.
Utilities submenu. 6 of
Utilities.
8.
I don't know what's
User
in
right arrow to
there.
open. Settings submenu.
Settings
Help
and
submenu.
help.
8 of
Okay.
8.
So
Utilities
utilities.
check battery status.
Oh, we have
1
check
of 9.
battery.
Battery level 65%. Charging. Utilities submenu.
So you can
6 of
check your
8.
battery in there. I don't know if there's a shortcut for that, but that's cool. Let's see what it's running software.
Settings submenu. Help submenu. 8 of 8. User guide. About. 2. About Orbit Player dialog. Device name. Orbit Player. Use the up and down arrows to navigate. Serial number. Application version. 1.5.5.6.
All right.
Build number. OPGL 97. Bootloader version. B0. 00.
So this is all
00.
bootloader stuff.
00R05. Firmware version. B0. 00. 01R26. Olympus service version.
Olympus service.
0.24. Copyright information. Orbit Player Software Copyright 2024. Orbit Research LLC All rights reserved. Runa Text-to-Speech Engine and Interface. Copyright 2024. Access Mind LLC All rights reserved. Text-to-Speech Voices and Sarence TTS Embedded Engine. Copyright 2024. Sarence, Inc. Portions Copyright 2024 Google Incorporated. All rights reserved.
So we have our copyright.
Support email.
So it's not
save to file button.
showing
Device
us
name. Orbit Player.
the Android version, so I have no idea what it's running. So yeah, it's definitely a little cheaper than the Stream. I've heard smaller than the Stream. The other cool thing is, and I want to try this, is how it will work on my Pocket. So if you put the Stream in a pocket, like the Wi-Fi cuts out. All right, well, I want to thank you guys so much. It has been a lot of fun.
Well, thank you to Liam for allowing us to play in some of that video. Like I say, check out the full video on YouTube. Just gives you a sense of how the device sounds. The menu system, very responsive. Nice voices on there. Mm-hmm. It was interesting because I know in the video Liam was talking about, I think a couple of people were asking, could you, shoehorn eloquence onto this thing? And he's like, well, I'm not going to tell you how to do it here, but yeah, there are ways. There are always ways to do these things. Oh, I'm sure there is. Yeah, and he's sure too. But yeah, these are interesting devices, and at that price point of $300, I think. There's a lot of talk of what's coming down the line, because one thing they talked about on there was the lack of an FM radio, which apparently is supposed to be in it, but it is something that will be enabled in a future software update. And apparently Bookshare is also going to be on there as well, along with NFB Newsline, which is very interesting.
Oh, that's cool.
So they're getting the content partners as well. I mean, bear in mind, this was built originally for an Indian market, because I remember when I spoke to Venkatesh Chari, the CEO of Orbit Research, when we were over at CSUN, I remember asking him, why did you go down this road first? And he said, well, it just wasn't anything really that was suitable to that market, that was dealing with, because it's all about the content, right? It was making sure that the content was available to people. And that was one of the real sort of draws to the Indian market. It was quite unique in that way. And I'm really glad, because I remember saying to you at the time when I first saw it, I thought, please tell me this is not going to be just for the Indian market. Yeah, you might actually roll this out to the rest of us, because I'd quite like this too.
We're jealous, even though we've got different options.
Yeah.
But we still really liked this one. Yeah, it does seem really cool. I'm interested. Have you ordered this, or? I
haven't. No, they have said they're going to send me one to play with for a couple of weeks, but I'm not sure if. I mean, I might buy one. I might. I'm always really interested in Orbit products. I mean, coming up in the next week or so, you're going to be hearing a review from me of the Orbit Reader 40, which hasn't seen a huge amount of discussion. People generally talk about the Orbit Reader 20 Braille display, but the 40 cell one has got some interesting little quirks and additional extras that might be worth mentioning, because it is the cheapest 40 cell Braille display on the market. It has its pros, it has its cons, but I think, like all Braille displays, it depends what you're using it for. Depends on where you're using it and how you're using it. Like, for example, if I'm using that kind of device in a studio, that might be challenging because it's quite a loud device. But if I'm at home, working from home remotely, then that wouldn't be as big an issue, and it's something to consider. It's certainly, I will say, the Orbit Reader 40 is a lot quieter than the Orbit Reader 20. But
do you know what, though? Does that really matter? Do people really care about that as much when it comes to the noise? I mean, obviously we do, because we're always thinking about what's being passed through to the microphone, right? So in a studio, yeah, of course, but that's a very niche use case, isn't it? If you're using it in a classroom for a lecture, let's think about how many times have you heard of Perkins going on? I mean, that's loud.
True. Yeah, that's very true.
I don't think I would even care.
I worked with someone who used a Perkins next to me pretty much every day, and it's funny how quickly you get used to it.
Yeah, exactly. And who's going to say, oh, can you please shut up your refreshing of your Braille display? I mean, sorry, if you're going to say that, you're the idiot. I mean, it's hardly anything, right? People type away on laptops all the time, and that's right. They're hardly silent. So for the most part, I think most people don't even care about the...
No, I think you're right. I mean, it's interesting you say that it's a niche around microphones, but think about it these days. A lot of people are sitting around microphones. They're on Teams meetings, Zooms meetings all day long. So, I think background noise does matter. And I think if it was getting to be the point, I don't think it is, but I think if it got to the point where it was becoming irritating, and to you as an individual, because everyone kept saying, "What's that noise? What's that racket I'm hearing in the background?" It just became this constant thing,
Yeah, maybe.
But anyway, we're going to talk about that in the coming days, and I mention it because, I think Orbit products are really well built. I know that there had been some issues with the Braille cells at the beginning. Those issues seem to be being addressed. The challenges, are lessening there, which is good. I really like the build quality of them.
I got hands-on with this at CSUN, and I was quite impressed with the player. I'm talking about now, the Orbit player. And I just really like the size of it. I like the feel of it, the build quality. Look, this is, well, would you class this as a budget device? The $300, I still think is, it's not cheap.
No,
right?
it's not.
Just
it's not cheap.
When we compare it to, SensePlayer and Victor Reader Stream, I suppose.
I think they would prefer the word affordable, and I would probably go with that. More affordable than... Which, again, is relative to what you can afford, right? If you've got $10 in the bank,
exactly.
It's not affordable to you.
Yeah, but the functionality and the features of the Orbit player, and like I say, I did like the design of it. I think, I'm intrigued by this.
Would you ever go down this road with any of these devices?
You know what is the trouble? I don't use enough of these services, I don't think. I don't use enough... Well, funnily enough, I was just listening to an audiobook last night because I couldn't sleep. But, I've got 2 smart speakers in every room where I just say, read whatever from Audible. So I've got the Easy Reader from Dolphin, and I signed up with Calibre, which is the RNIB book service over here in the UK.
Well, just to be clear, Calibre's not RNIB. RNIB is a separate library. Calibre Audio Library is separate.
Sorry, it is separate. That's right. But I signed up with the RNIB
They want letters. Come on.
Yes.
They're all our friends.
And Calibre, and the newsagent one as well for the papers. Do you know what? I barely used it. I don't listen to audiobooks enough.
It's funny you say that, though. Certainly on the book front. I mean, I'm just hopeless when it comes to books. I can't stay awake long enough.
Yeah.
Every time I put a podcast, I listen to one podcast every single night, and it's a 30-minute podcast. I never hear the end of it. Never. I don't even know how that show ever ends.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they say goodbye or they just give up.
You listen to 10 minutes start, and that's it. That's all you hear.
And the thing is, I'm lying there listening to it, really enjoying it, and thinking, they'll say, coming up next week, this great interview with this person, and I'm, I can't wait to hear that. I get to the break and I'm gone. I cannot stay awake. So the idea of listening to a book is just not going to happen. It's the only time I would ever listen. I'm always amazed by people I speak to who say, I'll just put a book on as I go around the house doing things.
It's true, though.
I cannot get my head around that. It just makes no sense to me.
No, I love a book, but it is just a time hole, basically. It just sucks the time away because I can't stop once I start listening, so I just sort of weaned myself off. I would love a standalone player, like a lot of people have said already. I want something that's separate from my phones, just so it sort of frees up my phone. I got a separate device for my books. Sarah bought an iPad for exactly this reason, for all her audiobooks. And I think the Orbit player and Victor Reader Stream and SensePlayer and things like that, absolutely. I'm just not prepared to put that much money into it. If it was $100 all day long, I'd probably have all of them. It still seems quite a substantial investment to me for something I'm not going to use that much.
It is a lot of money. Yeah, it is a lot of money.
So.
But I think, again, with the internet, radio, the podcast, I know you can say, it can all be done on a smart speaker. But I think the way I think about it is the control over the content. it's funny, as much
true.
as everyone goes on about podcasts on these devices, if I'm listening to a podcast, I sometimes get lost within the feed of podcasts. So unless you're really wanting to only listen to the latest episode, you can't just say, play me the 5th last episode of that show. It just doesn't seem to understand. I have never been able to get that kind of thing to work on a smart speaker.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It can be a little bit confusing. Next, previous, and is it going forward or back? Yeah.
Well, I know people who listen to this show, right? And will say, well, look, I maybe don't fancy that topic. I fancy this topic. They go through the topics on the show, or they go through the titles, and they say,
Good
okay,
luck
this
with
is what. well, that's about the only thing we get, right? So we get the titles, and you say, okay, I don't fancy that, or I fancy this, and that's fine. But, they can do that. It's very hard to do that on a smart speaker. And that's why I think, yeah, it seems like a good idea. People throw away the line, I just do it on my smart speaker. Yeah, but do you? Can you? You're maybe listening to the latest. I understand radio stations, but even then, sometimes the radio stations are behind apps or other, skills you have to install first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes.
Whereas with these devices, you can define very quickly. I mean, I think, again, we talk a lot about accessibility. We talk a lot about usability. And I think the third word, actually, that I want to add to that these days is efficiency. Came out of the conversation around Meta and WhatsApp, and the WhatsApp for Windows app that I got rather animated about. And I think it's efficiency is the next thing we need to think about. It's one thing saying, yeah, you can do it on this device, but how efficient is it to do what I want to do on that device? If I want to listen to the 4th last podcast here, then the efficient way to do it is via a device like a Victor Reader or an Orbit player, or a SensePlayer, or whatever it might be, because then you've got that ability, you've got that device that's literally got
you're pressing
physical
an up and down
buttons.
button, right?
Yeah, you can choose, you can very quickly select, you can listen, you're getting to the content quicker, and it's much easier than using phone apps.
I agree with you. When I say I want it to be $100, it's not because I think they're overcharging or it's not worth it. It's just in my use case, I'm not willing to put that amount of money in something I'm not going to use that.
So what you're saying
much.
is you're an absolutely terrible person.
I am a terrible person. Yes, I do apologize. But look, going back to the Orbit player, I think it's got some great features and functionality in there. I would like to try this out. Maybe if it's on sale, I'll give it a go.
So when it's sale for $100, all right, if sale for $100, he might think about it.
Yeah.
Right, look, stick around. We're going to come back in a moment. We're going to be talking all about, doggy presents, I suppose.
This is Double Tap. We'll be right back.
Double Tap thanks TurtleBack Cases for supporting this podcast and for making some of the toughest, most ergonomic leather cases for accessible devices. These aren't gimmicks, they're custom-fitted, USA-made carry cases for the gear you depend on, including the Selvas SensePlayer, Blindshell Classic 3, Mantis Q40, Orbit Reader 20, and more. Whether it's for school, work, or travel, TurtleBack cases are built to protect your device wherever life takes you. Get 12% off with code DT12 and enjoy worldwide FedEx shipping with full tracking. Browse now at turtlebacklv.com.
Get in touch with Double Tap. Email feedback at doubletaponair.com. Leave us a voicemail at 1-877-803-4567. And now you can send an audio or video message to us on WhatsApp. That number is 1-613-481-0144.
Okay, let's now turn to our good friend and long-time listener, Gregg Hayes, who has put together a demo for us on how to use Speak-A-Poo for many purposes, but one particular purpose.
Hi, my name is Greg, and I am going to do a demonstration of the application called Speak-A-Poo. Now, Speak-A-Poo is an AI application made for the blind, and it is similar to things like Be My Eyes and the Ira app, where you can show, point your camera at something and have it describe. And so, as I say, it's similar, but it has a couple big advantages that I wanted to show you. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to install it. So if you go into
photo and video, games, apps, and more,
into the App Store, and
insertion point back tab, live recognition,
you can
3:43
type
p.m.
in
Cap S,
SP
Oscar L P P R E A K K A A B B P O Oh.
O, Speak-A-Poo.
Oh. Search. Speak-A-Poo.
Then it will come up
Advertisement.
and
Speak-A-Poo. Blind AI assistance. Accessibility with ease. 4.5
should
stars.
find
18
that.
ratings. Button.
and it's made by
Open. Button. Artwork.
Ben
Utilities.
Vision,
Open. Button.
and then you can just install it. When you install it, it's going to ask you a few things, like permissions to get to your microphone and for notifications and to your camera. I just said yes to everything and went forward with it. Okay, so I have it installed, so I'm just going to go ahead and
Artwork. Open. Button.
go to open.
Open.
And then when you open it, it will come up with this screen.
Upgrade to premium for repeat or
And
follow-up actions. Double tap for quick
by
info or tap
default,
and hold to ask. Button.
It falls onto this where it says
Upgrade. Double tap for quick info or tap and hold to ask. Button.
double tap for quick info or tap and hold to ask. So I'm going to quickly double tap on it.
The image shows a room with a desk, chair, and microphone setup. There is a door on the left.
Okay. And again, it's a quick description, but it was fast getting it to me. And that's one of the things I really like about this. It only took a couple seconds for it to get me an answer that I wanted. Some of the other applications take longer than that. And so that's one of the major advantages. So again, you can do that, or you can do the tap and hold, which I think actually is more of a double tap and hold. And then you can ask it a question specifically. So you can say, what's on my computer screen or whatever, but I'm not going to do that. It's similar to all the other applications in that regard too. Besides that, on the app, there is
Upgrade to premium for repeat or follow-up actions. Dimmed. Button.
an option to upgrade to premium, so you can pay for it monthly or yearly if you choose. It's a good application, so might be worth supporting.
Settings. Button.
There's settings, which we'll come back to.
Help. Button.
And then there's a help. The help brings up a quick tutorial of how to use this. By the way, when you do the installation, it will come right up to that help and show you that anyways. So that's what that's there for. But settings, let's go back to settings.
Setting. Upgrade to settings. Button. Done.
And
Button.
settings is one of the things that I like a lot because, again, this is made for blind folks.
Setting. Premium.
So
Heading.
again, you can, in settings, you can bring it up to the premium
Unlock
version.
premium. Button. Shortcut library.
There
Heading.
is a shortcut library, which I'm going to come back to because that's one of the other things that I think is exciting
Shortcut
about this.
library. Playback speed. Heading.
There's things like playback
Slow
speed,
speed. Button.
so I can make it slow.
Selected. Fast speed.
Fast.
Button. M&M speed. Button.
Medium.
Response length. Heading.
M&M speed, which I guess is like millimeter speed. I don't know what that's supposed to mean,
M&M response length.
but
Heading.
really fast.
Selected.
The response
Concise
length.
response length. Button.
I've got it set to
Detailed response length. Button. Measurement system. Heading. Detail. Selected. Concise response length.
concise
Button.
because that's the way I like it, but you can make it more detailed if you
Detailed
want.
response length. Button. Measurement system. Heading.
You have the measurement system. So I've got it on Imperial because I'm in the United
Metric.
States.
Selected. Response speed. Turbo. Faster. Button.
And there's another response speed that you can bring it up to turbo, and that will make it a little less accurate, but it's even faster than the demonstration I just did. So let's go back
Settings. Heading.
and go
Done.
to
Button. Premium. Heading. Unlock. Shortcut library.
Shortcut Library.
Button.
Because again,
Link.
this is something I like a lot.
Shortcut library.
If you
Link.
open Shortcut Library, it will show you a whole bunch of shortcuts. There's
New. Combo box.
at least
List
a
box
dozen,
pop-up. Screenshot markup. Heading
maybe
level 3.
a couple dozen shortcuts. And again, shortcuts are Siri shortcuts. So you don't have to write these. I know Siri shortcuts are a problem for a lot of people, but these ones are already written for you. And as I say, there's at least a dozen, maybe 2 dozen shortcuts that they've written for you. And what that does is makes it a whole lot faster to get exactly what you want. So there are some that are really a lot of very useful ones and practical ones. There's a few that are whimsical, such as one that you can point it at your dog and say, what's my dog thinking? And it'll take a picture of them and give you their interpretation of what they think the dog is doing. Okay. They have one for cats too. Again, that's cute. That's fun. But the more practical ones there's one called, you can do a selfie. It will just, if you just hold down your S button, SIRI, don't want to say it, or you say, hey, S, and then the name of the shortcut, it will just take a picture and do the thing that you want to do. So in this case, it would take a selfie. There's other ones for reading what's on your screen, taking a screenshot and reading that to you, reading what's in front of the camera. So if you're looking at a menu or something, it'll read everything to you. There's a couple that are related to packages that I like. One where you can specifically go in there and put your name and address in, and then you can point this at it and it'll tell you whether it is a package addressed to you. The one that I like is even easier than that. It'll just go, you take a picture of the package or letter, and it will go and find out who it is addressed to, and it'll tell you that. So, at Christmas time when you're getting packages and you don't want your wife opening ones that you sent, well, then, you can quickly go figure out that this package is for Greg and this package is for my wife, Sharon, or whatever. So a whole bunch of others. I hope that you'll go into this shortcut library and explore all the different things. And then you can just simply go in and install it.
Use markup to show. Install screenshot markup short. Copy link to screen. Vibe Envision.
There's one here called
copy link. Install screenshot markup shortcut.
Screenshot markup.
Vibe Envision. Selfaboo. Captures and describes.
Selfaboo is the one I
copy
talked
link to
about for
Selfaboo shortcut.
selfies.
Vibe Envision. Screenshot text reader. Heading level 3.
Screenshot text
install,
reader.
Copy link to Vibe Envision. Screenshot summary. Heading level 3.
Screenshot summary. So I don't have that one yet. So I can go into screenshot summary.
Summarizes the contents of your phone screen.
You might have heard the description. It just says what it's going to do.
Install screenshot summary shortcut button.
And then I can go to install. And so I'm going to double click on install.
Install screenshot summary shortcut. Notifications Alt+T. Region.
Okay. It opens up the Shortcuts app and shows you the shortcut.
Share button.
And you can go
cancel button. Share button.
And flick to the right a couple times.
Screenshot summary. Shared April 11. Screenshot summary. Add shortcut button.
And find the add shortcut button. Double click on that. And boom.
Library. Added shortcut.
It's now
Screenshot
in your
summary.
Shortcuts app. Okay. And so you can either go into the Shortcuts app and click on it and it will do it, but much easier is you can use the S Lady to invoke it. As long as you remember the shortcut name, you just say, hey S, and the name of the shortcut, and away you go. And then one other thing that you can do when you're in that, right before you press add, you can also share that shortcut. And if you share it, one of the things you can do is share it to your desktop. So now you just have an icon for it on your iOS, your iPhone's desktop. So many things you can do. I'm going to go back into that
App switcher
list.
Shortcuts. Safari. Active.
And one of the ones
Screenshot text reader. Reads. Installs.
that
Copy
I
link
really
to
like.
Vibe Envision. Screenshot. Summarize it. Install screenshot. Copy link. Vibe Envision. Number knower. Gives a more. Copy. Vibe Envision. Dog poop spotter. Heading left. Install
Okay.
nonsensical
Did you hear that?
shortcut. Button.
There
Number
is
knower.
a
Heading level
dog
3.
poop spotter. Okay. So with all the talk that Stephen and Shaun have done with Matt from Vespero and others about if it's your responsibility to go clean up after your guide dog or your pet dog, we have a hard time with that, right? So now you can just go and say, hey, S, dog poop spotter, and point your camera towards your yard, and away it goes. And I'll show you that and how that works in just a moment. All right, so I'm on my side yard where we have a dog run, and my guide dog, Freddie, has recently been here. So let's see if this does everything it's supposed to do. All you need to do is hold down your Siri button, which is the right-hand button, and say dog poop spotter, or say, hey Siri, if you've got that turned on, dog poop spotter. I can't do that because I'm recording on the same phone and the microphone is in use. So I am going to press the desktop icon that I created from the Shortcuts app, and
Search. Dog poop spotter.
there it is. So it takes a
Speak-A-Poo.
picture.
Yes, there appears to be a small amount of dog poop. It's about 5 feet to the east.
And there you go. Without sighted assistance, I now know where to go find it. And I could go and get closer and take another one, and it'll get me even, tell me that I am 2 feet away and now it's in the center or whatever. But we have the ability to find doggy landmines now. Hope you like that. Take it easy.
Well, what a fantastic app and a very unique case. Use case for
it's
that
not
particular.
though, right? I've been wanting something like this for decades. This is fantastic. As someone who's owned dogs all my life, this is a gift, and I've got to say, God bless you, Gregg. You're a hero, sir.
A hero for all of us. Yeah.
Look, that's joking aside, just so useful, right? And this is something that a lot of us have got to deal with, and it's something that can be difficult. So why not? Technology's there. Let's use it. Fantastic.
And it really proves when a developer's listening to you, creating an app, actually thinking about. I mean, I don't imagine this came out of nowhere. I think there was clearly somebody had said, "God, this would be a fantastic application here," and for the developer to listen to that and not be shy about it or embarrassed about it and say, okay, let's build something that makes that work.
Yeah, I
think that's fantastic. It says a lot about Ben and the team at Ben Vision that are making these kind of just amazing apps. So Speak-A-Poo is well worth getting. Really, really good. And
well done.
I know lots of people were excited about hearing about it for the first time when Ben was on with us, but I'm really glad to hear he'll be back soon to talk about some new up-and-coming projects. So, but thank you, Gregg. Appreciate it as always. And come back soon and shout at us about HomePods. We must be getting to the point where there's a new HomePod.
Yeah, and a new Apple TV. My Apple TV's still broken, by the way. And I'm kind of missing it. I didn't think I would, but I've got to say, I am. All those, Netflix and Disney and whatever else, those streaming services out there, you can't get away that it's the most accessible streaming set-top box out there, and I am missing it.
I want to get a couple of emails in before we go because Jim's got in touch about the subject of diabetes, and I thought this would be an interesting one to hear Jim's take on.
Hey, Shaun and Stephen, this is Jim East from Florida, but currently living in Georgia, the guy in the RV. I'm a type 2 diabetic, was diagnosed 2.5 years ago, and hope I have some answers for you. I use the Prodigy Voice. Very easy to use. You actually use a little tool, which you put a lens set in, you pull the little tool back, and it has a cover on it so the lens set doesn't fly. It has a little hole, and you push the little side button on the tool, and it goes into your finger quickly like a flick. Feels something like just your finger being flicked. And then you squeeze your finger, you try to get as much blood as you can to come from your finger, and you tap the end of the strip. The end of the strip that has the paper on it's the one that goes into the machine. I'm sure you can get some training on that. Secondly, in the U.S., as a type 2 earning less than $50,000 a year, I get Ozempic for free. That's a Novo Nordisk product. Now, I'm not trying to champion anything. I'm just sharing what I get. So I've gone off insulin. I take one metformin a day, and that's it. And I take the injections one a week. And I said I get it for free. The Ozempic. You have to be a type 2 diabetic. The medication gets mailed to your doctor. So I don't know how things work with the national healthcare system in the UK, but there are also organizations. I'm sure there too. I know there are here blind diabetics. I'm probably saying the name wrong, but the ACB, the American Council of the Blind, and the National Federation of the Blind have diabetic related organizations. Yes, when it's new, it's very scary, very uncertain. I've not used the Dexcom. I know I'm not going to name names, but there's some folks that you've interviewed in the computer community and the intelligence accessibility community that are type 2 diabetics that use different tools. I've heard them on different shows on other sources, but there are a lot of us that use this stuff, and we want to help any way we can because it is scary and uncertain. As a type 2 diabetic, I was told basically I could eat anything I want, just not a whole lot of it, and just keep track of your sugars. I'll be honest with you, being on Ozempic, I've lost over 80 pounds, and I test probably maybe 2 or 3 times a week. I hope those tips will help. But yes, it is manageable. It is as accessible as I need it to be with the Prodigy Voice. So I hope this helps. Again, this is Jim East.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate the information. And this has been an ongoing conversation on the show now for a while about diabetes and the challenges of, glucose monitoring, blood sugar monitoring, and all these things. So it's interesting to hear your take on it, Jim. I often wonder, and this is maybe a very, I don't know, you could say it's positive. You could also argue it's negative view, that they may, in fact, cure diabetes before we ever get accessible technology to measure it.
Well, when you think how long people have been, keeping track of their blood sugars, I mean, it still blows my mind that we're still having this conversation today about trying to make the most accessible way to do it. It's absolutely awful, to be honest with you. But yeah, no, it's very good information there, Jim. Thank you very much. I did order something called the Nexus Voice from Amazon, which is like incredibly affordable. It's apparently talking monitor from Amazon. But I received it and it didn't work. So as in it was totally dead. It was faulty, apparently.
Oh, right, okay.
So I sent it back and I haven't got a replacement because it's out of stock. And that's been months and months. So I still haven't got one. I will say I did go while I was ill, I did go to my local chemist and had a blood sugar test there. It was something like $10 for a quick finger prick. And it's fine. It was 6 or something. So it was fine. But I mean, at a pinch, you can go to, at least here in the UK, you can go to your pharmacist and they will do it for you. But I mean, what a position to be in, right? It's not great.
Well, yeah, you shouldn't be paying for a visit when the reason you're doing that is because the technology that is available to do it isn't accessible to you. That seems wrong.
Yeah,
to me.
but arguably, I can hear people right now saying, well, why don't you pay for the, something like the Freestyle Libre? If it's that important to you, you will find a way to pay for it. But I don't know, it is quite expensive to go down that route. And it just feels like as a type 2 diabetic, I don't need the constant blood monitoring that type 1 diabetics just absolutely rely on, which is vital to them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but it is important to keep track, even if you are type 2, absolutely.
So are you going to buy this Nexus Voice again? Are you going to try a different one?
I am. Yeah, no, I'm going to try. That's the only one I can find that I think is a reasonable price. God, I am so tight, aren't I?
But you're not alone, though. A lot of people are saying, well, I can't afford that either. I couldn't afford to buy a Freestyle Libre. And, you're essentially having to buy, I mean, it's a bad comparison, but, it's like most people would buy a Ford Fiesta and, you're having to buy a Bentley because that's the one that works for you.
That's the one that's accessible. Yeah, no, it is kind of the case. Yeah, so I will try this. I will try and get hold of this Nexus a bit more. I'm sure there's other places I can get it from.
I want to play in this one email as well before we go, because this is another topic we've been having a lot of discussion around, and this is about attitudes and the attitudes that people have towards us who are disabled or, in our case, blind.
Hi guys, just watching your latest podcast and you're chatting about people that think they've got the right to just shove us around in a wheelchair, and that pisses me off so much I have to restrain myself from making a scene when someone tries to do that to me. I've had it done to me from doctors to an old man, to which I did make a bit of a scene because he kept on pushing me even though I kept raising my voice. Attitudes have definitely not changed. People have just learned how to disguise it better. Also, when I'm at work, customers are constantly asking if they can help. Dollars to donuts, these same people complain about using a self-checkout because they don't think they should be doing a cashier's job. From Ange.
Yeah, thanks, Ange. This came out of a conversation we were having, and I'd mentioned at the time about people in wheelchairs who, I imagine must get so fed up with people pushing them around. I have many friends had many friends over the years who, were wheelchair users, and they were sick to death of it, frankly. Of people just literally pushing them out of the way. In restaurants, for example, I'll just move you here.
Yeah, if I could just squeeze past it and then shove you out of the way. Yeah.
Well, they wouldn't even say that. They would just say, I'm going to move you out the way so I can get past. And there's, I suppose in people's minds, I often think, where does that come from? Is it because literally they're in a chair with wheels? They think, well, I can probably move you quicker than you. But it's like you're forgetting the person sitting there.
It takes away your humanity is what it do. It is kind of similar, though not the same, as when someone does grab my white cane and drag me around via
same thing.
that.
No, it's the same thing.
And you just feel like this just totally makes me feel like I'm, a shopping trolley or something. I mean, come on now. It's There's no really easy way of describing how that makes you feel, is there? It either makes you really depressed or it fills you with rage.
Yeah, I tend to go down the rage route, I have to be
I
honest.
thought you would, yeah.
More often than not, especially when you're just grabbed. I mean, I remember being in an airport and being literally, almost lifted by this guy who didn't speak English. I was in Amsterdam airport, so and I don't think he was from Amsterdam. I don't know where he was from, but I didn't understand what he was saying. And he's literally lifting me down the stairs. And I'm thinking, if you can lift me down the stairs, I'm going to let you, because I'm a heavy guy.
Yeah, you're a bigger man than I.
If you can figure this out, some sort of bodybuilder comes along and starts carrying you down the stairs.
A group of 7 men. Yes.
It's just ridiculous. And the thing was, at that point, I was on an IRA call, and I said, no, thank you. And then the IRA agent hung up. I was like, no, I need you. It's this guy I'm trying to get rid of. Anyway, we're out of time for today, but really interesting review of the Speak-A-Poo app. I think many people will find benefit in that. So thank you for that, Greg. I mean, that means a lot. And Liam, thank you for allowing us to play in your
thank you, Liam.
review of the Orbit player. We're going to get Liam on soon to tell us his thoughts after a couple of weeks with it, to tell us more about his thoughts, and hopefully some updates will come along as well. So we'll get some news on that. Any questions you've got around that, then do reach out to Liam directly through Mastodon, or you can find us here and we'll put together a little Q&A for him when he comes on. That is it for us, though. We'll catch you tomorrow for the final one of the week. Thank you, Shaun.
Thank you. Bye-bye.